You're listening to the Dre Area Sports Show, live on YouTube and X. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
The Dre Area Sports Show is brought to you by SEATGEEK. Use promo code Dre Area Sports to save $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek.com. And we are also brought to you by Taryn Roy, the SEO Optimizer. If you're looking to boost your YouTube channel, then check out the SEO Optimizer. Use promo code Dre Area Sports to start your free trial today. Power Brand Systems. If you're looking to build a website for your small business or YouTube channel, then check out Power Brand Systems. Use promo code 300POWER to save up to $300 on your first purchase at Power Brand Systems.
This team really took a lot of losses in the offseason. They didn't sign any free agents worth a damn. They didn't want to spend any money. And now everything is based on a bunch of rookies who we don't know if they're going to be any good. And if they are good, maybe they're not good this year. Maybe it takes a while. Like, I personally think, and this is why I think the Niners might lose some games that we think they're going to win. I personally think the defense will be a liability early on just because of the lack of cohesion and the lack of being a team that has played together over the last 5 or 6 years.
See, I don't think so. I honestly, I believe that, you look at our corners, we have Renardo Green and Deommodore Lenoir. They're going to lock shit down on the left and right sides. We have options at our nickel corner with Upton Stout, now with Derek Canteen, and whoever else that they want to bring in. You still got the other corner that they drafted. I'm blanking on his name, but so they got options there. I think where they're going to suffer the most is at safety with Malik Mustafa not being ready for week 1. If he comes back week 2, week 3, that's a big fucking deal to have Jair Brown and somebody else who you're going to sign off the street or convert from a corner to a safety to help cover in that secondary. The secondary is going to be an issue in terms of the safety position, but on defensive line.
Sterling said that who's the guy we drafted? Ingle?
Siegel, Marques Sigle.
Siegel. He doesn't see him as a starter.
No, that was a bad draft pick. That was bad.
You think so?
When they drafted Marqueis Sigle, there were so many other players out there that were available. I don't even have the list in front of me, but I had a whole list of players that were available at that time. That was a horrible draft pick. I mean, he might be a good player. We'll see, and I hope he is a good player, but that was not the guy I would have taken at that spot. That wasn't even a guy I'd even scouted. I was like, who the fuck? What? Who's Marquis Sigle? I'm like, what are we doing here?
When you get that reaction for people that have covered the draft or like follow the draft and scout players, that's when you're like, oh boy. Where was this? I was reach? Like, why did they reach for this guy?
Yeah. I thought, what is going on here? I had a tweet that I put out that had a list of players that were still available that got drafted after Marquis Sigle. I could try and find it, but like, what's his name? Denzel Ward, corner out of Ohio State, was still out there. Chris Paul Jr., linebacker out of Ole Miss, was still out there. There were a lot of good players still available, and they took Marquis Sigle. I thought, what? Even Nick Martin. I love the draft pick of Nick Martin. I don't like where he got drafted because I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. You could have taken him in the following round because after they took Nick Martin, there was a huge gap between the next linebacker that was drafted. And so they jumped the gun on that one because they really wanted him. And I get that, but I felt like that was not a roll of the dice like, hey, we can wait on this guy. No, they were too eager and they drafted Nick Martin, I thought, way too early. So, like I said, I like the pick. I think he's going to be a really good player, but I just thought it was a little too early, and I thought Marquis Sigle was just a bad draft pick. So when they took Marquis Sigle, you had Jackson Slater out of Sacramento State. You had Zaw Frazier, cornerback. You had Miles Frazier, a guard at LSU. Why on earth would you not draft Miles Frazier? I love that guy. Chris Paul Jr., Jackson Hawes, Denzel Burke. These are all good prospects, and you took Marquis Sigle. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's a draft pick that you do when your team is fucking loaded, and they were rebuilding. So it was like, why did you do this for? I don't get it. I don't understand. You went as someone for your secondary. You had Zaw Frazier, you had Jordan Hancock, you had Denzel Burke. Instead, you went with Marquis Sigle, which was like, who? What? I don't get that one at all. That's where I started getting worried while watching the draft. I was like, oh no, what are you doing? Stick to your big board if you have one. I don't know if you do, but oh my gosh. So then there's that. But so secondary wise, I think they're going to have some challenges, especially at the safety position. But defensive line, they rebuilt their entire defensive line. Almost, except for Nick Bosa. So you got Bosa, Collins, CJ West, and you got Mel Williams. Williams can also line up on the inside as well. You partner him with guys that they already have, like Guillermo Gross-Matos, Jordan Elliott, Sam O. I still think there's some other guys they're going to bring in to help bolster up that defensive line, but getting all three of those guys was absolutely huge. Huge. I hope they all participate and have a chance to do good things this year. I really do. Well, I mean, you look at who was the guy that went to Cincinnati? Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. A draft pick that everyone thought the Niners were going to take. He goes there. He's not even doing any workouts because he's like, I'm not going to do that until I sign a contract. Like, yep, I know you're talking about. His name is escaping me too. He character concerns that people talk about in the draft are real things, people. Absolutely. Shamar Stewart. I was like, oh man, I'm kind of glad we didn't get him. He still could be a good player. I mean, I'm not saying that that's going to make or break if he's a good player or not. But he was sitting out of all the practice drills because he was like, oh, I want my contract first. Like, oh, okay, cool, dude. Yeah, you're cool. But to go back to our point, I went off on a tangent there. I'm really sorry. Right. To go back to our point, I think the defense will be a surprise for the Niners. I think their corners are set, and their defensive line is going to be a huge issue for a lot of opposing teams trying to run the ball. And we saw last season, what did teams do against Niners? They ran directly up the middle, and they could not stop anybody. I always say this, like fucking you and I could have had positive yardage against that defensive line. It was pretty bad last year. It was pretty atrocious. Thank you for watching this video. If you want more of this content, then check out some of these recommended videos right here on your screen. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by going to my website, which is nicotina.net, and there are memberships available under Dre Area Sports.